What if that guy did this to your car?
What guy? The clown?
At that time, it was very difficult until recently to convince somebody that clowns could sell a movie.
What you can do now is just remain calm and stay on the line with me until the police arrive.
Clowns will not sell a movie. We're not interested in making a killer clown movie. So it took a long time to get from where I began to where we are now. Now.
What was your reaction to Terrifier's success? Did you expect it to do as well as it did?
Oh my gosh. Seeing things like, I mean, honestly, it does not sink in no matter how popular it keeps getting. Every time I see a new tattoo or artwork, things popping up on a daily basis, pretty much, it's very amazing. It's wild. It's thrilling. As far as the success, again, I created this character back in, I'd say 2005, 6, around there, for my first short film. And I made a bunch of subsequent shorts, and eventually he was in All Hallows Eve.
Fuck out of here, man! You out of your fucking mind? Seriously, you think this is funny? You think you just piss all over the place and smear your shit on the walls? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And every time I made something new, sort of the fan base grew a little bit more, and especially people closest to me would be like, dude, that clown is like so crazy. You really have something there. You have to keep going. You have to make bigger movies and expand upon him. And so hearing that so many times, I knew that there was something special there. So it was just a matter of being able to make the first Terrifier, which was my goal for a long time.
Were you aiming to be controversial with the first film's violence, or just as entertaining as you could be?
I'd be lying if I said no. I knew that the kills were going to be controversial. I grew up loving controversial horror movies, and especially being sort of like two things. One is, since I am a special makeup effects artist, and we're not dealing with a big Hollywood studio, we don't have a lot of money, that I know I could personally do things for very little money in the special effects world that you're not going to see in a Hollywood film, in like a Hollywood horror movie. So if I could bring that to the table, and that gets people talking and excited, and they'll say, hey, I'll check out this indie film over this big Hollywood movie, or just give them something different. I mean, how are you going to compete against the big boys? So knowing that I could do things like that, and my obsession with Tom Savini since I'm a little kid and doing makeup effects, I wanted it to be as gory and not so much controversial, but very shocking and in your face. I mean, there's no doubt about it that I knew we'd be exploiting the violence.
Was there a particular criticism or take on the film that like surprised you, caught you off guard?
I mean, I get constantly accused of being misogynistic. Of course, today it's inevitable. What really shocked me is transphobic, I've been called, based on the scene where he skins and wears the woman. I mean, listen, it makes me laugh, because it couldn't be any further away from what I am, raised by all women and everything. Like I just like, it's so funny to me. And I think I'm just like so comfortable because I was raised by all women that I don't think about those things when I'm doing it. I don't think I'm offending. I'm not trying to offend. So there's really nothing I'm not afraid to show. I mean, there's things I won't show that maybe there's even like lines that I try not to cross, believe it or not. No matter how grotesque and intense these scenes get, I always keep it in the back of my head, like, how far can we push it but still maintain some level of like accessibility for get as many people interested? Because sometimes the violence can be so absolutely shocking where it becomes like very niche, and I'm trying to make it a little broader. But again, there's criticisms across the board. I get accused of everything. If I took that to heart, these movies wouldn't even exist.
come up with the ideas for the creative kills?
Could be anything. Could be any little like nugget of inspiration. I mean, the hacksaw scene, because I knew again, how are we gonna show something to people that they've never seen before? Everything's been done. Everything's been shown. So like, what could we possibly show? So I was just doing research online of medieval torture methods, and this, as you do, and this one method popped up that I said, oh my God, if that actually existed, that is the most horrifying way to go. And basically like in the movie, but more realistically, they would hang you upside down. It was a giant saw that you would see, I guess, to, cut down logs or whatever. And it'd be like a person on each end, and they would just saw the person in half. And supposedly because you're hanging upside down and all the blood's like draining, that you could actually cut through quite a bit of them before they die of blood loss, or I'm assuming shock would take you out very quickly, because that's so horrifying. But anyway, I said, listen, I've never seen that in a movie, so why don't we go for that? That sounds effective.
Well, tell me more about your working relationship with David Howard.
David Howard, listen, he's fun. He's fun. He's fun to be around. He's constantly joking, the funniest thing is how Dave is the man of 1,000 voices, basically. I mean, before he got into acting, or just like stumbled into the horror world almost by accident, Dave is like primarily a cartoon voiceover actor, and he loves cartoons. Dave's like a big kid. So the funniest thing is how now he's known for a character that doesn't mutter a sound, which I think is hysterical, but he's still so animated. He's a great actor, so many emotions are conveyed through the makeup, through his performance. But yeah, it's a great relationship. It's very, very easy. I know pretty much exactly what I want every time, starting with the script, and when we get on set, I'll tell Dave what I want him to do, blocking, movements, even down to facial expressions and things like that. We'll do that for a couple of takes, and then I'll let Dave go off on take 3, 4, 5, and I'll let him improvise and come up with a lot, especially like scenes that lend themselves to that. Like in the pizzeria in Terrifier 1, when he's just making faces at Tara, I just had him go off and just make a ton of different faces and quirky expressions and things like that. And then when I get to the editing room, I just choose the ones that I think are the most fun. So it's fun. It's fun to experiment and play around. And then a lot of it's molded and put together in the editing room, big time.
Right. And is it as fun to make these films as it is to watch them?
Not even close. Not even close. No, it's not fun. There are little tiny moments of joy when you're making a movie, and it's when there's a great performance. These are the moments of joy I get when I'm filming. It's like a great performance where it just hits you inside, and you're like, ooh, that's great. That's what I was looking for. That's going to make it into the movie. When an effect that you've been working on for a month comes out great, all right? There's that moment of joy or just relief. And then it's typically just being surrounded by great people that you like, and that are funny, and they'll just they'll make you laugh during the course of the day, or they'll make a joke or just add a little levity, and that really helps. Other than that, it is just an absolute stressful nightmare. It's just like having a giant ticking clock over your shoulder and no sleep, and it's very stressful.